here, we know today that people suffering from chronic kidney disease can improve at any stage. This is a scientifically proven fact, but what not everyone knows is that certain steps need to be taken in order for the patient to be able to improve. I want to be very clear on this. There is no improving if a condition or a complication is still causing damage to the kidneys. And I know that most of you guys following me right now take very good care of your kidneys. I know that you don't leave anything to chance because you are already following a renal diet and a lifestyle that's suitable for your condition, and that's good. But for some people, unfortunately, that's not enough to stop kidney disease. There are various reasons why that may happen, but if your GFR levels are always getting worse despite all of your best efforts, the very first thing I want you to look at is this one mineral, phosphorus. Now guys, just like potassium and sodium, phosphorus is one of those minerals that should be restricted when the kidneys are not in tip-top shape. But while the amount of potassium a CKD patient can eat is a lot, really a lot, when it comes to phosphorus, you must be really careful. We know today that the mineral we should base renal diets on is phosphorus. But why is phosphorus so bad for you that you can't take more than 800 milligrams a day of it? Well, the reason is because this mineral can literally stop your heart from beating. Studies are linking higher serum phosphate levels to a higher mortality rate. But it's not just that. Phosphorus is the reason why in people with CKD, drinking milk or eating dairy is going to damage bone health, not to improve it. Why, you may ask? Because when the kidneys are unable to get rid of excess phosphorus, the body is forced to find another way. Keep in mind that this mineral becomes real poison when it accumulates. So the body is now forced to extract calcium from the bones in order to bind it to phosphorus and finally make all this extra phosphorus manageable. Yeah, it's that bad. And a lot of people today are worried about artery calcification, and with good reason. What they don't know is that cholesterol is not the primary driver of artery calcification, especially but not just in CKD patients. Phosphorus is a way bigger threat to your artery walls than cholesterol. And phosphorus is so bad for the kidneys that recent studies are linking an excessive intake of this mineral to kidney damage, even in people with perfectly healthy kidneys. As we can read here, having to deal with too high phosphorus levels can cause inflammation and a declining kidney function even in the general population. Yeah, this is why a lot of foods rich in phosphorus are considered unhealthy for everyone, not just for CKD sufferers. I'm not just talking about red meat, but also dark colas and all those foods that contain too much phosphorus. More about this in a moment. So in short, managing phosphorus correctly is key to keep your kidney healthy, and it's the very first step towards reversing the decline of your GFR. Guys, there is no improving if this level is not under control. And we will see how to do exactly this with dietary changes and supplements in a moment. Before that, a very important question. How can you tell if your phosphorus is too high? Extra phosphorus causes body changes that pull calcium out of your bones, as we have seen. And well, this also comes with a couple of very noticeable symptoms. Not just bone pain and increased risk for fractures. Those are to be expected as long-term symptoms. And having low calcium due to high phosphorus can also cause muscle cramps and pain. This happens because calcium is used as a signaling molecule in the body. So when this level is too low, well, you will know this. Another symptom many CKD patients report when their phosphorus is too high is itchy skin, sometimes even rash. This happens because when all this phosphorus binds to calcium all over the body, it can form crystals in the body tissues, including the skin. This can cause rash. Excess phosphorus is also very inflammatory, which can lead to an immune reaction followed by itching. Now guys, while these symptoms could warn you about a possible problem with your phosphorus level, it is better not to rely on symptoms alone to diagnose a condition as serious as hyperphosphatemia, right? No, what you should do here is to be very knowledgeable about your blood analysis and to make sure that your serum phosphorus is always in the right range. So a very important question, what are the correct serum phosphate levels? According to the National Kidney Foundation, CKD patients stage 3 and 4 should keep their serum phosphorus is 5 and 4.5 milligrams per dl. Patients on dialysis should keep their phosphorus levels in the 3.0 to 5.5 milligrams per dl range. Those on dialysis should also keep in mind that dialysis does remove phosphorus. So it's very important for everyone to pay attention to their phosphate level on their tests. Make sure these numbers is always in the correct range if your goal is to protect your kidneys, your heart, and your bones. So question, what to do in order to make sure your phosphorus levels are under control? There are two ways to achieve this, with the diet and with supplements. Most CKD patients are recommended to do both things. Let's start with the diet. What foods contain phosphorus? The most common dietary sources of phosphorus include dairy products, meat, poultry, seafood, and egg yolks. Processed foods such as deli meats, bacon, sausage, sodas, and sport drinks are also high in phosphorus. All these need to be completely avoided if you have CKD. And I know that there are some influencers that are still telling people to eat red meat and things like that. Don't do that. Remember, those people don't care about your health. Some more people that don't really care about your health include the food industry. Phosphorus is incredibly widespread as food preservative. Foods such as baked goods, morning cereals, sauces, and many other packaged foods may also be rich in phosphate, an artificial form of phosphorus. Which is why you should always double check the label of anything you buy in order to make sure it doesn't contain added phosphorus. Now, there are other foods that also contain phosphorus but that you do not need to avoid. These include legumes, nuts, whole wheat breads, and cereals. The phosphorus in these foods is not that bad for you. And now you may ask, why is phosphorus from plant-based foods good while phosphorus from preservatives and animals very bad? Well, this is due to the way the human body absorbs nutrients. Phosphorus in plants is usually in the form of phytic acid, which is not easily absorbed by humans because we lack the enzyme phytase that breaks it down. On the other hand, phosphorus in animal products is mostly in a form that is easily absorbed by humans. It's already very similar to what the human body uses. And the same is also true for phosphorus used as a preservative. This is why foods that have added phosphorus will cause your blood phosphorus levels to go up more than foods that have phosphorus naturally. Phosphorus that is added to our food is nearly 100% absorbed. Phosphorus from meat and dairy is also highly absorbed. About 90% of phosphorus from animal-based foods ends up in our body. But you only absorb about 30 to 40% of the phosphorus from plant-based foods. This is why today we don't tell patients to completely avoid nuts, seeds, legumes, and whole grains. These foods are so healthy, they are worth dealing with the phosphorus they contain. In short, we know that not all foods are created equal when it comes to phosphorus bioavailability. Restricting plant-based foods doesn't help at all, while restricting animal protein and processed foods is key to keep phosphorus levels under control. Guys, please also notice that everything I say here comes with a source you can read on screen. I keep telling you this because I always get comments from people that tell me about this or that influencer that always says you should eat red meat. Don't do that. Don't trust those people. Talk to those influencers if you can and ask for proof in medical literature that what they say is true. But they will never be able to do that, alright? They won't give you a source. On the other hand, all my sources for this video are going to be linked down in the description, and you can double check them whenever you want. Okay, very important. What supplements are recommended in order to keep phosphorus under control? Our very first line of defense here is calcium-based phosphate binders, alright? The reason why they work is simple. Phosphorus must bind to calcium to be excreted, and if we do this in the intestines, all this phosphorus is not going around the body causing damage. This is why most CKD patients are recommended to take Tums, for example, at their main meals. Obviously, you must discuss this with your doctor if you are not taking a calcium-based phosphate binder already. Now guys, I usually talk about Tums when I talk about phosphate binders, but that's just because these antacids are widely accessible for most people. You don't necessarily need Tums, alright? You can also just buy a calcium carbonate supplement from Amazon or another supplement store. The advantage here is that you will be avoiding all of the other additives they put in Tums. Some formulations of Tums also have sugar in them. Check the label and always avoid anything with added sugar. But I really recommend looking into a calcium-based phosphate binder if you have CKD, since they are calcium-based. They can raise your serum calcium, which is usually too low in those with CKD. Another benefit of calcium-based phosphate binders is that they protect you from oxalates. Excess oxalate intake may be an issue for some patients, and it's especially dangerous for people with low calcium intake. This risk may be greatly reduced by taking a binder at meals. And there are other ways to reduce phosphorus intake that are also available for those who can't tolerate the extra calcium. A less known way to decrease phosphate levels is something called chitosan. Chitosan is a polymer found in the exoskeleton of shrimp, lobster, and other crustaceans. It's a common supplement and it binds to several things, not just phosphorus. Most people actually take chitosan because it may also bind to fat and could help achieving a body weight reduction. And chitosan also binds to uremic toxins in the intestine, creatinine included, and that's why it is interesting for us. Chitosan is so powerful at reducing creatinine levels. It was actually used in some studies to lower creatinine levels in patients in all the stages. Now guys, there is actually another detoxifier that can be used to take care of excess phosphorus in people with CKD. I'm talking about vitamin B3 or niacin. Now this is very interesting. Many studies show niacin can lower high cholesterol levels, protecting your heart and kidneys. A review of studies published in the American Journal of Kidney Diseases concluded that niacin has a favorable impact on multiple risk factors affecting the rate of GFR decline, such as HDL concentration and function, triglyceride level, oxidant stress, inflammatory markers, endothelial function, and serum phosphorus levels. The authors of this meta-analysis published on the AJK believe that niacin may seriously decrease all-cause mortality in people with kidney disease. But there is another reason why I'm talking about this vitamin today. You see, while this vitamin is not nearly as commonly used as calcium binders to control phosphorus levels, there are very interesting reports in literature. An example is the story of a stage 5 CKD patient that was able to go back to stage 2 mainly thanks to niacin. Incredible! And if you want to know more about this story, my video up here is for you, and this is all for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you all. Bye!